Just before the conference, actually, right on the eve of sort of the opening of the International AIDS Conference here in Washington, D.C., DNDi announced with Cipla, a generic manufacturer in India, a new collaboration to develop what we're calling a 4-in-1, a new 4-in-1 antiretroviral combination therapy for infants and young children with HIV. What's important about this collaboration is that today we have, first of all, terribly inadequate options for children with HIV. Right now, the World Health Organization recommends that infants and young children who have been exposed to antiretrovirals, either through prevention of mother-to-child transmission interventions or through maternal antiretroviral therapy, should receive a protease inhibitor-based first-line regimen. That's just a certain class of HIV drugs that have a very specific mechanism of action that make them extremely powerful. And what we are hoping to do with Cipla is to develop a protease inhibitor-based first-line therapy that would contain ritonavir-boosted lopinavir, that's the protease inhibitor part, as well as two other drugs, either abacavir and 3-TC or AZT and 3-TC, which would be all together in a sachet in a kind of sprinkle formulation that will be much easier than the current formulations for children to tolerate and for caregivers to administer. Today, what we have for children, best case scenario, are liquid preparations of these drugs that I just mentioned, which are incredibly impractical in resource-limited settings. They are requiring refrigeration, which is of course extremely difficult for most people living in rural areas. They taste horrible. We're told that the syrups actually taste like vomit, and that has to do with the high alcohol content in those formulations. They're really difficult to administer because when a child's weight evolves, you have to give different dosages, and it's just really complicated for caregivers to administer, and normally or often in the settings in which we are hoping to address the needs of children, parents have often died, so it can be almost always grandmothers and such doing the actual caregiving. So the point of this entire collaboration, the goal is really to deliver a much simpler, a much better tolerated, a more durable, and ultimately also a more affordable first-line therapy for children, infants, newborns, and toddlers who cannot yet chew or swallow tablets. So that's the announcement. Of course, this is just one part of a larger set of objectives that DNDi hopes to achieve. And it's really important to mention that some of the work, so Cipla developed this innovative sprinkle formulation of ritonavir-boosted lopinavir, and they did so with the support and involvement of the Medical Research Council Clinical Trials Unit in the UK, and in particular Professor Diana Gibb. They've been studying this new formulation in Uganda, testing the acceptability and feasibility. DNDi is now supporting that study for a specific age group, those kids that are between 1 year and 4 years old. And from this data, we really hope to have all the elements to then be able to progress toward developing the 4-in-1 combination, hopefully by the end of 2015.